It's time to make some predictions that might make people mad, but also could be correct. We're predicting everything for the 2024 Major League Baseball season. Now, when I say everything, I mean division standings, playoff picture, and awards, because that's basically everything that you can predict, right? Now, a little disclaimer, I wanted to upload this video on opening day, but I haven't had time. So yes, it's 2 days into the season, whatever. A couple of games have already been played. I don't care. I didn't change any predictions based off of those games. 3 games out of 162 games is not gonna make any difference in my mind. That's just not how baseball works. So I'm gonna quickly go through the divisions because I have a lot to talk about, but I do have to explain what the numbers on the side are. These are just the seedings. So me putting Orioles 1 means I think that they will be the best team in the American League and they will be the 1 seed in the American League. The Yankees at 4 means that they are the best of the wild card. The top 6 seeds always make the playoffs. So with that being said, let's get into the divisions. So for the AL East, I have it going the Baltimore Orioles, the New York Yankees, Toronto Blue Jays, Boston Red Sox, and in last place, the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, I'm only going to be talking about things that are kind of surprising just so that I can explain myself just a little bit. The Boston Red Sox over the Tampa Bay Rays. That's the thing that's going to make people surprised. I am a Red Sox fan, so I am slightly biased. However, the Red Sox rotation is not as bad as people say it's going to be, and through the first 2 games, that's looking like it's an accurate statement, but the bullpen's good, the offense is good, the rotation is serviceable. Tampa's offseason was too weird even for them in my opinion. I just don't think that they can handle that much talent loss. I really don't. I think that they're coming last. Apart from that, Blue Jays also miss out on the playoffs by 1 position, Yankees make it as the #1 wild card, and Orioles are the best team in the American League. That's what I think about the AL East. Moving on to the AL Central, I have the Tigers leading the way with the Twins, Guardians, Royals, and White Sox following. Now, the White Sox I have as the worst team in the American League. I don't think that they're a good team whatsoever. I just don't. I really don't think that they're a good team. They're just not great. The Royals, putting them at 12 feels a little harsh because I do think that they're a pretty good team, but there's just a lot of talent in the American League, I think. Most of the American League teams are good. The Guardians, 1 step above the Royals. It's a little hard, but mainly because of the pitching. The Twins, they're good. But again, I just think that there are a lot of teams that are a little bit better than the Twins. And then the Tigers at the 3 seed and winning the division. They're only the 3 seed because the 3 division winners have to be the top 3 seeds. I don't think that they're going to have the 3rd best record in the American League. They'll probably have the 6th best record maybe, but because they're going to be winning the AL Central, in my opinion, that means they have to be the 3 seed. So that's why they're there. And moving on to the AL West. This might be my most controversial division as I have the Seattle Mariners winning with the Houston Astros in 2nd, the World Series defending Texas Rangers in 3rd, the Angels and Athletics in the back. The Angels and Athletics are awful. They're not going to be good. They're just bad. 14th and 13th in the American League for me. Only the White Sox is worse than both of them. Throw them away. Now, I do have the other 3 teams in this division all making the postseason. I have the Rangers as the final seed in the American League, the Astros 1 seed above that, and the Seattle Mariners as the 2 seed in the AL. So I think that they're going to be better than the Tigers, but worse than the Orioles in terms of division winners. Now, for Seattle winning the division, it's just because of their pitching. They have the best rotation in baseball, in my opinion, and it's really not close. George Kirby, Luis Castillo, and Logan Gilbert are all ace-level pitchers. They're just ridiculous. They are an incredible team, and people are really sleeping on them. They are a very, very good team. Astros have taken a little bit of a step back in my opinion, but they're still going to be there in the postseason, and the Rangers have lost a lot of talent, especially with Scherzer and DeGrom being out for the first half of the season for both of them, losing Jordan Montgomery as well. They're going to have some ground to make up with that starting pitching. However, I still think that they'll make it into October. Moving on to the NL, I'm going to be starting out with the East again because it just makes the most sense. I have the Braves winning the division and also being the 1 seed, and then the Phillies, Mets, Nationals, and Marlins trailing. Marlins in last place. Maybe a bit of a hot take, but their only good thing about their team, aka their pitching, is injured to hell right now, which that's not going to help them. The Nationals are up and coming, and I think that they're slightly better than Miami. The Mets, they're okay. They're not great. I'm putting them at 10. The Phillies are extremely good and would absolutely run away with the NL Central, but they're not in that division, and they're just not better than the Braves, I don't think, but they are the best of the wild card teams in my opinion. And the Braves, they're just the best team in baseball in my opinion by like almost 5 to 6 games is what I would predict if I was predicting records as well. Moving on to the NL Central, I think that this is the toughest division that I had to rank because I just don't know what's going to happen in this division. I think I'm going to piss off every single fan base in this division. I really do. The Cardinals, I have winning it and making the 3 seed. They are consensus 3 seed out of the division winners. They're really not close to the Braves or the NL West division winner. It's just not how that works. Then I have the Reds at the 7 seed, missing the playoffs by 1 spot. The Cubs right behind them in the 8 seed, and then the Pirates and Brewers in the 11 and 12 seeds. Brewers in last place feels crazy. However, I like Pittsburgh a little bit going into the season, and I really like Chicago and Cincinnati. They're just not gonna make the cut to make the postseason for me. And the Cardinals, I don't know, they just feel like they're gonna win the division this year. I don't exactly know how to explain it. It just feels like something that's gonna happen, so I have them winning the division. I'm sorry, Brewers fans, I really am. I really didn't want to put them in last place. I just don't know where to put them. The Pirates, I just feel like are better than them right now. I'm sorry, I really am. And moving on to the NL West, of course I have the Dodgers winning the division with the Diamondbacks coming in 2nd place, the Giants trailing them, and then the Padres in 4th place and Rockies in 5th place. In my opinion, the Rockies are pretty easily the worst team in the National League. That's where I predicted them, but the Padres, Giants, D-backs, and Dodgers are all solid teams. Padres I have at the 9th seed, Giants I have getting that final wildcard spot at the 6th seed, D-backs at the 5 seed, and Dodgers at the 2 seed. Honestly, I would not be surprised if the D-backs were better than the Philadelphia Phillies this year. They are a great team. I really wanted to predict them better than what I did, but I just couldn't put them above the Dodgers or Phillies. It just doesn't seem possible right now. Although, I'm not counting them out after last season. Go Snakes. With that, the postseason teams are all picked. Let's see what I have happening in October. We're gonna start out with the NL this time because I started out with the AL last time. It seems fair. So, with the NL playoff picture, you have the 6 seed versus the 3 seed, and then you have the 5 seed versus the 4 seed. After that, the 1 seed is going to face off against the winner of the 4 and 5 seeds, and the 2 seed is going to face off against the winner of the 6 and 3 seed. That took me way too many times to say without failing. So, for the 6 versus 3 seed, I have the Cardinals facing the Giants, and I have the Giants sweeping in 2 games, 2-0 Giants. For the 4 seed versus 5 seed, I have the Phillies versus Diamondbacks, and in a very, very competitive series, I have the Phillies taking 2 out of 3. That could go either way though. Again, I really wanted to put the Diamondbacks ahead of the Phillies. I really wanted to, but I just can't do it right now. The 1 seed Braves will be going up against the Phillies in this prediction, and I think that the Braves are going to win in 5, so I think that they'll win 3-2 against the Phillies. I know that the Phillies have had the Braves numbers for a couple of years now, but the Braves have to figure it out against Philadelphia eventually. They're just too good to not. I'm taking the Braves this year over Philly, I am. Now, the 2 seed versus the 6 seed, because the Cardinals were somehow the 3 seed. It's the Giants versus the Dodgers. Now, here's where I'm gonna lose people. Dodgers fans, click off now. You don't even want to hear the prediction. Just leave. Giants 3-2. They win in 5. Look, they just do. They just did. I said it. Okay, that's it. We're moving on. Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, not good in October. We've never seen Ohtani in October. Kershaw, Glasnow, horrible in October. Giants, they play up in October. They had a great offseason. I'm rewarding them. Okay, and now for the NLDS, we have the Braves versus the Giants. Can the Giants upset again? No, Braves in 5. 4-1, Braves destroy the Giants. It's really not even a competitive series. They made it past the Phillies. Now they're rolling into the World Series. Okay, let's move on to the AL. Again, the picture is the same way, the 3 versus the 6 seed and so on. It's the same thing, it's just the other side of the bracket. So for the 6 versus 3 seed, I have the Rangers versus Tigers. Now, the Rangers might have only been the 6 seed, but they're still the Rangers. They're still the defending World Series champs. I'm going 2-0 versus Detroit. And in the 4 versus 5 seed, we get a Yankees versus Astros matchup in the wild card round. That's crazy to say. We know how history repeats itself. Astros are going to win in 3. I'm sorry, New York. I just can't predict you beating the Astros until you've actually done it once. That's just how it works. Science. Now, the 1 seed Orioles will be taking on the 5 seed Houston Astros, and I think that the Orioles are going to take that in 5. I know that they had a rough postseason last year, but they're a year older, and I think that they're going to be able to handle it this year. They're going to win in 5, 3-2. Now, the 2 seed Mariners versus the 6 seed Rangers. Can the Rangers upset the division winners? I'm going with yes. I think that they might be able to. I have them winning in 5 against Seattle, 3-2. Now for the ALCS, before we reveal the World Series winner, I have the Orioles versus the Rangers. And I think the Rangers' chances of going back-to-back ends right here. Baltimore wins in 7 and moves on to the World Series. Now, the World Series, it's a great matchup. It's the 2-1 seeds from last year. I know, how original. However, they're the 2 best teams in baseball. The Braves versus the Orioles. Now, I think it's going to be a great series. Not really. I think the Braves are going to win in 6. I don't know. The Braves are just better than Baltimore, I think. Braves, give me them winning 4-2. Braves are your World Series winners. And now, after all of those standing predictions and making just about every single fan base in baseball mad at me, apart from the Atlanta Braves, it's time to move on to the award. And I'm going to be starting out with the AL Cy Young and the NL Cy Young, which I am very, very confident about, honestly. For the AL Cy Young, George Kirby. He is incredible. He's the best pitcher in the league, in my opinion. He doesn't walk anyone. His control is the best out of any pitcher in baseball, and he throws 97, and he's just impossible to hit. If it's not George Kirby, it's going to be Tariq Skubal. It's one of those 2 pitchers. They're the 2 best pitchers in the American League with Cole hurt. And for the NL Cy Young, again, very confident about this one, Spencer Strider. He's just incredible, one of the best pitchers in baseball, and I just think he's on a different level compared to the other guys in the National League. Moving on to the AL Rookie of the Year, I'm talking about a guy that's not even in baseball yet, and that's Jackson Holliday. He's gonna get called up on May 15th because the Orioles are being big stinky heads and doing service time manipulation, and I don't like it. But Jackson Holliday is the best rookie in the American League, even if he plays for a month and a half less than every other rookie. That's just how good he is. He's gonna win AL Rookie of the Year. And for the NL Rookie of the Year, I have Jackson Chourio. I think that that's how you pronounce his name. If it's not, I'm sorry. He's the Brewers center field prospect who's already signed a major extension. He's a really good prospect. He does a lot of things well, and I think he's gonna prove to baseball fans why he got extended before playing his MLB debut. And before I get into the MVPs, I'm gonna be talking about a couple of stat titles. The batting title, the home run title, the ERA title, and the strikeout title, because I think it's important to predict those things. For the batting title, you think I might be going with Luis Arraez probably, but I'm not. I'm going with Steven Kwan. I'm gonna trust that he's gonna step it up a little bit more this year and just be one of the best contact hitters in baseball. I think he's gonna bat like 320 this year. I don't know why. I think Arraez might have a little bit of a down year after being so insane last year, but I think Steven Kwan might take over the batting title. The home run title, we're going creative and a little bit out of the box with this one. We're going with Fernando Tatis Jr. I could have predicted Matt Olson or Aaron Judge, and it probably would have been more likely, but that's boring. I don't want to make every safe prediction. I want to go Fernando Tatis Jr., I think. The ERA title, I already said who I think is the best pitcher in baseball this year, George Kirby. I think he's getting the ERA title. He's incredible. And the strikeout title, the other Cy Young winner, Spencer Strider. Those are boring picks. I just really feel strongly about those 2 guys. That just proves it. And finally, the last 2 predictions before the 2024 season and before all of them are wrong. The AL MVP and the National League MVP. For the American League, I'm going with the new New York Yankee Juan Soto. It's hard for me to predict a team like the Yankees to have the MVP. Because even if Juan Soto is one of the best players in baseball, he's barely more valuable than Aaron Judge. So it's like, is he really the MVP? I don't know, but he'll probably still win it regardless, in my opinion. He's that good. I have a lot of faith in him playing in the Bronx with that short porch, and it really concerns me as a Red Sox fan. I think he's going to be absolutely incredible. And for the National League, I'm going with my home run title prediction as the same guy who wins the NL MVP, Fernando Tatis Jr. I just believe he really wants to prove people wrong. That's it. Fernando Tatis Jr., he's your NL MVP. With that being said, that's every prediction that I can possibly think of making for 2024 MLB season. I'm excited for this year. If you're excited too, make sure you subscribe, like this video so that more people can see it, and I hope to see you in the next video. Goodbye.